Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. We are in the month of September here in year number 5, rounding out the regular season, and our Orioles are well on our way to clinching a playoff berth, hopefully within the next few weeks or so. We had a pretty solid month of August, and entering September, we are 40 games over 500. That is a lot. We lead the division by 16 games over New York, 17 over Toronto. So we have a great opportunity to clinch the AL Central once and for all today. We are tied with the Astros for the best record in baseball. So even though we look like we have the division on lock, we are definitely still fighting for seeding, and we're likely going to be fighting for seeding until right at the end of the year. So part of entering the month of September is that we have made it to the September call-up stage, where each Major League roster must have exactly 28 players, no more, no less. We can call up 3 players. Normally it would be 2, but Lenny Lane was just put on the injured list with a strained calf, so that means we have 3 open slots for the roster and plenty of minor league talent to use. So I decided to focus on calling up veteran players who I think have a chance of playing really well in September and making the final playoff roster, including reliever Colin Poche, who's been very reliable for us the past couple years. He's had a down season this year in the majors, but has played well in the minors, and I think he has earned another opportunity up. Amir Garrett as well has also had a very down year in the big leagues, but he is also pitching pretty well in the minors, and I think he deserves another opportunity in the big leagues. And then Christian Robinson has really progressed statistically. He is now an 82 overall. He has been bouncing between the majors and the minors really for the past 3 seasons. And I think having him up in the big leagues for the rest of the year would do him pretty well. Robinson will probably start against lefties. I'm not really entirely sure how I'm going to integrate him, but I do want him platooning rather than just being a bench bat. As we look at the lineup, no other changes there, and then the pitching rotation as well. No other major changes other than getting Max Meyer back from his injury. He just got healthy about a week or 2 ago, which is definitely a big deal for us, as with him really breaking out this year, having him back in the rotation really does as well. Obviously, we are without one of our best players, Lenny Lane, for about a week or 2, which isn't ideal, but I think we'll be able to make do. So I wanted to play in this Boston series, and I wanted to use Max Meyer, because obviously I haven't been able to pitch with him the past couple months with his injury. So we're going to simulate the first 2 games of the series, and we would win them both. 6-1 and 8-2. Good starts from our top 2 starting pitchers, Shane Bieber and Chris Bubich. So now we go into Game 3 of a 3-game set at home against the Boston Red Sox, who have certainly disappointed this season. Their playoff hopes appeared to have been flushed down the drain about 2 months ago, whereas our Orioles are still fighting for the division and seedings. As we take a look at both lineups, 1-9. Baltimore mixing it up a little bit. Jalen Miller and Shed Long at the top. Obviously, Baltimore has to try some different things with no Lenny Lane. As here is Max Meyer making his 20th start of the year, and obviously the numbers are really good, and he certainly has had by far the best year of his career, which doesn't say much because before this year he had pitched very poorly in the majors, but it has been so good to see him finally figure some things out. Xander Bogaerts with 2 away rips a single into center field. Bogaerts, one of the more underrated players in the majors, really in the past 5 to 10 years. And although those numbers aren't spectacular this year, he is still phenomenal. However, Rhys Hoskins, the following batter, will strike out. Ever since being signed by the Red Sox a couple years ago, Hoskins has really played well for them and has lived up to their contract, but obviously the team hasn't, produced. Trevor Williams, the veteran, is on the bump for Boston. He's had a very average season. Not good, not bad, just average. Jalen Miller leads things off. He hits this one high and fairly deep into right center field, right in the gap. That one's going to drop for a ground rule double. So Miller is now in scoring position with nobody out. That's one of Baltimore's faster base runners, so a great opportunity to get some early damage done, but Trevor Williams paints the corner perfectly, getting Shed Long to go down looking. Can't blame Long for not swinging at that pitch. That was just a beauty. That'll bring up Louis St. John, who of course is fighting with Lenny Lane for that American League MVP, and St. John singles into center field. That'll drive in a run, and the Orioles lead it 1-0. Another RBI for Louis St. John, who leads the entire major leagues in that category this season. I know RBIs isn't a great stat, but it is still cool that he's in first place. Trevor Williams with another nasty pitch here in the second inning, this time fooling Xavier Bowman on the low slider. Christian Robinson now going to try to get a crack at it here. Count is full. Grounds this one right to short. Bogarts to second, over to first. And the Red Sox turn the 6-4-3 double play. So other than the RBI single from Louis St. John in the first inning, so far it's been a pitcher's duel for the most part. Max Meyer has been dealing as he gets the catcher, Evan Skoog, to go down on the low and inside slider. That pitch was also filthy. That'll bring up the next batter, Whit Merrifield, who's had a rough season offensively. He has really regressed a lot, but he does get a single, so now he's aboard with one away. We'll see if Boston can maybe get an answer this inning. 2 gone now for Xander Bogaerts. Full count pitch. He watches as the outside changeup sails by for ball 4. So now the Red Sox have 2 runners on and 2 outs. A huge at bat here for Rhys Hoskins, and he capitalizes, ripping it into center field for a base hit. That's Merrifield who will score, and the Boston Red Sox have tied this game up at 1 apiece. Clutch hitting there from Hoskins, and the Red Sox still have another opportunity to score that inning, but they would not capitalize. So we go to the bottom of the third. Here's Jalen Miller, grounds it to short. Great play by Xander Bogaerts. That should have been a base hit. Would have been Miller's second of the game. Bogaerts showing off the reflexes to get the out. Louis St. John now shoots the gap. His second base hit of the game. St. John trying to get that average up, trying to give him more of a case to beat out his teammate Lenny Lang for the MVP award. And so far, so good today for LSJ. Nick Castellanos is now up. Runner on second, 2 away. Castellanos lines into the right, and it is caught! What a catch! Out in right field by Jason Dominguez. That'll save a run, and we remain tied at 1. Great defense by Dominguez. Yankee fans are cringing of seeing him making a great play in a Red Sox jersey. Top 4, Max Meyer trying to get back into the thick of things as he gets Tristan Casas to go down looking. Meyer pitched really well the first couple of innings, kind of slowed down in the third. Now in the fourth, he's picking it up, but it's not going to be a 1-2-3 inning with Jason Dominguez, who had the big catch in the last inning, singling up the middle into center field. So Dominguez is now aboard for the catcher, Evan Skoog, who draws a walk. And again, with 2 away, Max Meyer's getting a little bit sloppy when it comes to allowing these base runners. Whit Merrifield is now up 3-2. That pitch is way high for ball 4. Control has been one of the big reasons why Max Meyer has pitched so well this year, but today his control has been completely off. So the bases are now loaded. 2 away for Reynolds, who hits it high and pretty deep into center field, but it will be caught by Xavier Bowman. So the Red Sox leave the bases loaded. They have left 5 runners on in just the past 2 innings. The Orioles are very lucky that this game is still tied at 1 because Boston has had opportunities to take the lead, but they would finally capitalize here in the 5th. A solo home run for Rhys Hoskins, who scrapes that one over the fence, will put the Red Sox ahead 2-1. With Max Meyer allowing all those base runners the past couple innings, his pitch count is pretty high. It's around 90 at this point. So the best choice the Orioles can make is probably to take him out of the game, and that they would do. Will Brooks will check in as the replacement. Brooks, of course, made the All-Star team this year, has done a great job as the lawn reliever, but his day does not start off very well. Michael Chavis hits that one into left field over the head of Christian Robinson, who's playing in left today. Louis St. John is the DH, since Lenny Lang doesn't have to DH. The Orioles can put someone else there. So Chavis is now aboard at second, and a nice opportunity for Tristan Casas, who draws a walk. Maybe the control issues wasn't just a Max Meyer thing, because Will Brooks is struggling to throw pitches down the strike zone as well. He gets Jason Dominguez to walk, and now the bases are loaded. So Boston loads the bases for a second straight inning. They have to capitalize this time, right? Wrong. Fly out to shallow right. It's caught by Shed Lawn. And now in the past 3 innings, the Red Sox have left 8 runners aboard. They should not have 2 runs right now. They should have way more. The Orioles are very lucky to still be in this game, and they have to capitalize off this opportunity. Christian Robinson will make the most of things, singling into left field with 1 away. So Robinson is now aboard. We will see what that could possibly entail for Baltimore as they try to tie or take the lead. Full count pitch for Miller, who watches the inside fastball fly right by him for ball 4. So now the Orioles have a couple of runners on base and a huge opportunity for the AL MVP favorite, Louis St. John, to break this game wide open. And he strikes out. Very anticlimactic there. The Orioles kind of got a taste of their own medicine by leaving 2 runners aboard, as it is still a 2-1 game. Going to the 6th inning, Whit Merrifield leads off for Boston, gets his second base hit of the game. And ever since the Orioles made a pitching change, Will Brooks really has not done much better than Max Meyer. And with that being said, maybe another pitching change could be in the works for the Baltimore Orioles. Will Brooks will be subbed out of the game, and Brusdar Graterol will enter as the replacement. Graterol has been Baltimore's best reliever this year. That's probably why they want him in here. But it wouldn't go too well, as his first batter, Bryan Reynolds, hits a 2-run moonshot into right field for his 11th home run of the season. And the Red Sox extend the lead as it's now 4-1, and we go into the bottom of the 6th. Trevor Williams' day is done. Another veteran, Nick Pivetta, will enter as his replacement. First batter he sees is Castellanos, who singles into left field. So Nick Castellanos is now aboard. We'll see if the Orioles can start a little rally here with this nice opportunity. Yes, they would. Adley Rutschman with a bomb into right center field. A moonshot of his own to put the Orioles back within 1. 418 feet for Rutschman's 24th home run of the season. That is officially a career high in home runs for Adley Rutschman, who has hit 23 home runs in a season in each of the past 2 years. But now he's finally broken that mark. Although Adley's been in a little bit of a slump this past, I would say, month or two, really since the All-Star break, that swing was a beauty. So we go into the 7th now, 4-3 ball game. Colin Poche is in for Baltimore. Obviously has not pitched great, albeit in a fairly small sample size of just over 10 innings. I believe this is his first game back in the big leagues as he strikes out Tristan Casas on the nasty outside curveball. That pitch was pretty beautiful. Bottom 7 now remains 4-3. Jalen Miller will get that one over the head of Merrifield. Jalen Miller has quietly had a really good day. He has reached base on 3 of his 4 plate appearances, 2 hits and a walk. He has been really reliable for the Orioles today and has really been reliable throughout the entire season. So with that, another pitching change. Brent Suter will replace Pivetta, and that's a bold choice because Suter is a lefty. And guess who's up? Louis St. John, who rakes against lefties with that 99 power rating, and he's going to strike out on the high fastball. Again, kind of the anticlimactic there. St. John has really cleaned up on the strikeouts this year, but back-to-back Ks in his last 2 at-bats is not ideal. Julian Starnes is now in here in the top of the 8th for the Orioles, trying to keep this as a 1-run game. Bryan Reynolds with 2 away had the home run in his last at-bat. Grounds it to short. A good 1-2-3 inning there for Julian Starnes. No funny business, nothing out of the ordinary. He retires the side, and it remains a 4-3 game. Darwinzion Hernandez is in the bottom of the 8th for Boston, another lefty. They're lucky Louis St. John is not up overly soon. 4.76 ERA as he faces off against Xavier Bowman with 2 away. Bowman also is quite good against lefties, but he flies out to right. So Hernandez retires the side, and ever since both teams had those big home runs in the 6th inning, both offenses have gone cold since then. Into the 9th inning now. The Orioles wanted to get another inning out of Julian Starnes, but that decision backfired. Xander Bogaerts with a solo home run into right field, his 19th of the year, and the Red Sox extend the lead as it's now 5-3. And the Orioles see no reason to keep Starnes in the game. So Amir Garrett will replace him. Of course, Garrett has not been great this year. He has another stint in the big leagues, and his day would not start off overly well. A 1-out double for the Sox off the bat of Michael Chavis. That'll bring up Tristan Casas with 2 away. Bloops this one down the third base line, and it's going to drop. Bad defense by Castellanos. Ryan Mountcastle, who just checked into the game at left field, does throw the runner out at second. So Casas is out, but runner does score, and the Red Sox lead comfortably 6-3 with 1 inning to go. So it'll be Carl Edwards on for the save. Edwards has not been the closer for most of the year, but the Red Sox recently put him in that role. He is 13 of 14 on save opportunities, quite solid, but his day does not start off great. Carmen Sixto opens up the inning with a single. The Orioles are obviously in a sticky situation, but hey, they're not out of it. If the lineup can get hot, you never know. The following batter, Christian Robinson, hits this one nicely in a left center field. That'll go for extra bases, and the Orioles might have just put themselves back in the game. An RBI double for K-Rob as Carmen Sixto slides home safely, and the Orioles are now only down by 2 with the tying run up at the plate and only 1 away. Xavier Edwards is up, his second at bat of the game. Singles into center field. That'll go for a base hit. Robinson on his horse. He will score. And now it is a 1-run game, 6-5. Tying run is aboard. I don't know what Edwards was doing there. Tying run is aboard. The winning run is up, and it's arguably the Orioles' two best hitters in the lineup today, St. John and Castellanos. So we start off with St. John, who will get a weak fly out in the infield, caught by Whit Merrifield. And now this game comes down to the Hall of Fame menace of society, Nick Castellanos, who is 2 for 4 today. He's hit the ball fairly well. Extra base hit, probably scores a run. Homer wins it, of course, as this ball is high, pretty deep into left center field, but it will be caught. And the Boston Red Sox finish off a very exciting ball game. 6-5 is your final. We certainly had chances to win this game and get the sweep over our rivals, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen. I think if we made some better pitching decisions, if we kept some of our guys in less, like if we took Max Meyer out earlier, if we took Julian Starnes out earlier, maybe we would have won. The offense was quite good, 5 runs, 13 hits, but the Red Sox hit the ball well too, 6 runs and 12 hits. So overall, a strong offensive performance. Meyer gets the loss. He just allowed too many base runners. Not one of his better outings of the year. So we're going to simulate our next 10 games. 3 at home against Seattle, 4 on the road at Tampa Bay, and 3 at Boston. I wanted to play this Toronto series even though the Blue Jays are kind of out of a running for the division. I still wanted to face off against them as Lenny Lang does recover from his injury. That's good news. He recovered fairly quickly, which is impressive for somebody who is 39 years old. But with him being back, we do have an extra roster spot, and we need to send somebody down. And unfortunately, it's going to be Amir Garrett. I wanted to keep him up a little longer, but I didn't really have anybody else I could send down. So in that 10-game span, we did fairly well. We took 2 of 3 against Seattle, 3 of 4 against the Rays, only took 1 of 3 against Boston, but we are now 93-50. I'm going to simulate to the final game of this Blue Jay series because I wanted to have the Shane Bieber, Walker Buehler pitching matchup, and we would actually lose both games. So this is the situation. We're 93-52. If we win this game, we clinch the division, which I didn't even realize when I was simming. So I just happened to pick the game that could determine the division. The Blue Jays and Yankees are still well in the wild card race, so they still have a lot to play for, but they just are not in our league currently. So as long as we win one more game this year, or the Yankees and Blue Jays each lose one more game this year, we will win the division. And that's going to happen at some point. We still have a good 20 games left. So all we have to do is win this game today, and we're fine. So hopefully we can do that and avoid getting swept as well. Certainly don't want to get swept by our rivals, especially considering they beat us in the playoffs last year. We're still out for revenge. Here is a look at the lineup. The Orioles again mixing some things up, trying out some different lineups. No Xavier Bowman today. He is getting the day off. As here is Shane Bieber, who took a little bit to get going, but really ever since the All-Star break, he has pitched like the $150 million ace that the Orioles paid him to be. Kevin Biggio up with 1 away. He lines this one. It's a rocket over to short. Nice catch by Mountcastle for the second out of the inning. Kind of like Adley Rutschman. Mountcastle started the year off really well, but he has been struggling, I would say, the past month or two. So here's Walker Buehler, who has also lived up to expectations with Toronto. Of course, if you remember from the offseason, the Orioles originally wanted to sign Walker Buehler. Didn't happen. He joined the rival, and obviously Baltimore signed Shane Bieber, and I would say it worked out for both parties. Xavier Edwards hitting leadoff today, hits the single. And Edwards, ever since being called up in late August, has continued to play really well. And I wouldn't even call it a small sample size anymore. He's been quite consistent, and I think he, assuming he still plays well, has earned an opportunity to make the postseason roster. Lenny Lang, now the very next batter, hitting in the 2-hole today, will single into left field. So both of Baltimore's first 2 batters are aboard. A good start for the offense, as that will bring up Louis St. John, who had a couple hits in the Boston game early on. He hits a very high ball into left center field. I don't know if it's going to be deep enough. And it is! 3-run shot for Louis St. John, his 50th of the year. The first player in the major leagues this season to reach the 50 mark, beating out his teammate Lenny Ling, who currently sits at 49 home runs. When that ball went off the bat, I did not think it was going to be a home run. That ball was in the air for what felt like probably about 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, damn, that ball could have probably gone around the moon if it had wanted to and went so high. I think in most ballparks that might not be a home run, but here it is. So the Orioles are up 3-0 off of the beautiful home run by Louis St. John as we go to the top of the second. Toronto trying to get things going, but it's pretty challenging when you're facing off against Shane Bieber as he gets Bo Bichette to go down looking. Randy Arozarena is now up, the following batter, who's had a pretty rough season, but he does hit this ball nicely into center field. Robinson back at the track at the wall, and it's gone. Robinson had a chance, but it looked like he just misplayed it. Home run number 26 on the year for Randy Arozarena. Even if the contact hasn't been great, he is still hitting for great power. I think the same could be said there about Heston Kjerstad with a moonshot into right field. The contact has not been great, but when healthy, which has been a big if for Heston Kjerstad, the power has been impressive. Home run number 18 on the year for Kjerstad, and the Orioles now lead at 4-1. Baltimore with home runs in each of the first 2 innings, one of them barely out of the park, that one a bomb. So now there's a runner on first for Lenny Lane, who takes a big swing and a miss. Obviously, Walker Buehler is one of the best pitchers in the game. Even though he has not started off great today, I am confident he will pick things up. Okay, maybe I lied. Ryan Mountcastle with a 2-run nuke into left center field, and the Orioles extend the lead a little bit further. They have now hit home runs in each of the first 3 innings today. That's Mountcastle's 23rd home run on the campaign, and Baltimore is winning in dominant fashion so far, 6-1. We'll see if Toronto can pick things up. That's not an ideal start. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. goes down looking. Bieber's second strikeout of the game. Now facing out against Randy Arozarena with the home run earlier. Grounds that one right up the gut. Great play by Shane Bieber, who so far is pitching like Shane Bieber. Awfully well. Into the top of the 5th inning now. Rowdy Tellez leads things off. Tellez gets a meatball down the middle of the plate, and it looks like he's going to capitalize. Will that one go over the fence? It does. Christian Robinson thought that was going to stay in the ballpark, so he did not make an attempt to rob it, and I guess it kind of backfires. Rowdy Tellez will make it a 6-2 game. That brings up the next batter, Max Kepler, acquired in a midseason trade with Minnesota as he goes down looking on the fastball. George Springer now up at the dish here for Toronto. He hits a single into center field. So the Blue Jays are starting to hit the ball better after a slow start. They had the Tellez home run earlier in the inning, now a Springer single. We'll see what Bo Naylor can do here as he hits this one into right field. A routine fly ball for Heston Kjerstad, or so we thought. He misplayed it. They're going to rule that a double for Bo Naylor, but that should really be an error. And to make matters worse, Kjerstad completely botches the throw. Even though he hit the home run today, the Orioles are going to take him out of the game, making a loud statement. You can't lollygag on defense. So Elliot Ramos replaces him as Ramon Laureano. Singles into center field, and wouldn't you know it, both runs score. If Heston Kjerstad was not goofing off in right field, it would still be a 6-2 game. Now it's a 6-4 game, which completely changes everything. Kevin Biggio draws the walk, and now with this inning going longer than it should, Shane Bieber's pitch count is going to start to get high, and he's probably going to go out sooner than he would have otherwise. As Guerrero singles into right field. Great throw from Ramos to the plate, but it's not in time. This inning should probably be over right now, and instead, it's a 1-run game. And now Shane Bieber has to be taken out. Bieber should have been cruising through 5 innings, was going to pitch another inning or 2. His pitch count was low entering the 5th inning. I think it was at like 50. And now he's done for the day. Jonathan Hernandez will replace him. Since the trade deadline trade from the Rangers, Hernandez has done really well in Baltimore, I've got to say. He's been a really good pickup. And he would get out of the inning, forcing Arozarena to weakly fly out to first. So the Orioles keep the lead, but no short of just drama in that inning as the Toronto Blue Jays are back in the game. The Orioles are going to try to take their convincing lead back. Walker Buehler still on the mound, facing off against Lenny Lane. That is a nasty strikeout. I was certainly not expecting the plot twist of Walker Buehler staying in longer than Shane Bieber, especially after Buehler allowed home runs in each of the first 3 innings, but now he's starting to pitch a lot better. Psych! Nick Castellanos with a solo shot into left field. The 4th home run from this Baltimore lineup today. Number 33 on the year for Nick Castellanos. And although some of Baltimore's batters have done worse since the All-Star break, Castellanos, who was an All-Star starter, keep in mind, has played significantly better, in my opinion, since the start of the second half of the year. So Toronto makes a pitching change. Eric Paradino checks in for Buehler as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Ryan Mountcastle goes down looking. That was a nice pitch. High up and away in the corner. Good work from Paradino, who threw like an inning and a third, is doing pretty well. Julian Starnes is now in for the 7th inning. Jonathan Hernandez went through the 6th inning pretty easily, as it's Kevin Biggio up at the plate. Hits this one into right field, and Ramos decides not to risk going for the catch, rather letting it fall for the single. We'll see if that decision backfires or not. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. now grounds it right to second, and the Orioles turn the double play. So to answer the question, no, Elliot Ramos letting that go for a single does not backfire, and remains a 7-5 game. Louis St. John here in the bottom of the 7th with a mammoth shot in the left field. He is strutting by home plate. Giddy up, horsey. Solo home run for Louis St. John. 435 feet for his 51st bomb of the year, 2nd of the game, and an A-plus celebration to go with it. I don't know if he's going to get fined or maybe even a short suspension from the major leagues or what, but whatever he gets, that celebration was well worth it because, man, that was fun. Look at him just casually walking by home plate and then ride him up, horsey. We got to look at that one more time. A beautiful swing, beautiful celebration. That is what you expect in an MVP type moment. So now the Orioles lead 8-5 after the home run and awesome celebration by Louis St. John, as Felix Rosa enters here in the top of the 8th inning, trying to keep Baltimore afloat as they're 2 innings away from clinching the division. The inning would not start off great with a single from Bo Bichette. Toronto's going to keep on rallying. Remember, they have a lot to play for, being right in the middle of the wild card race. Randy Arozarena is now up. He's going to bloop this one into right field, and Elliot Ramos completely misplays it. The defense in the outfield today has been shaky. First, the Heston Kjerstad misstep, and now that. Rowdy Tellez is now up, hits it into left field. Louis St. John tries to cut and make the catch, and it backfires. Again, the defense is blowing it right now. 1 run will score. A second one will score as well. Arozarena was right on the first runner, Bo Bichette's tail. So it's now a 1-run game with nobody out and a runner on second base. Rosa is taken out of the game. Brusdar Graterol is in, and he would get out of the inning, forcing Bo Naylor to ground out. So I think all things considered, it could have been a lot worse, but Toronto is only down by 1. This game has been an absolute thriller, I've got to say. This has been the game of the year, in my opinion. They're definitely one up. With 1 away here in the 8th inning, Ryan Mountcastle is up, still facing off against Eric Paradino, who remains in the game, as Mountcastle gets that one off the wall. Out in center field, nearly a home run. Instead, it'll go for a double. So Mountcastle is in scoring position as the Orioles hope to extend this lead a little bit further. They're only up by 1, and with how the craziness has gone in this game, it's never too good to be up by multiple runs. As Sixto singles into center field, close play at the plate, he is safe. Good hustle by Ryan Mountcastle, an RBI single for Carmen Sixto. And now we go to the 9th inning. Orioles lead by 2, and it's the closer, Edwin Diaz, looking for his 33rd save of the year. Diaz has been a little bit more rocky this year, and the rockiness would continue. With 2 away, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits a home run into left field, and this game just will not stop with the wildness. Home run number 34 of the season for Guerrero, and Toronto cuts the lead in half. That brings up Bo Bichette, grounds this one to second. Xavier Edwards is goofing off there, but he does make the throw in the nick of time. The Orioles win the game 9-8, and the Baltimore Orioles have clinched the American League East for a 3rd straight season. No matter what happens for the rest of the year, the Orioles will be going to the playoffs as AL East champions. A thrilling ball game. Toronto, in my opinion, hit the ball better than us. We just happened to do better with runners on base, and our power was great. 5 home runs, 2 for Louis St. John, including the celebration of the year. I've got to give the bullpen a lot of credit. Outside of Felix Rosa, the bullpen really did a good job, especially when times were rough towards the middle of that game. So there you go. We've now clinched the division at 94-52. So now that we've won the division, we're really only playing for seeding. So what I think I'm going to do is next episode will be the final episode of the regular season, and I'm really going to focus on this MVP race between Louis St. John and Lenny Ling. I think I'm going to player lock a bunch of games with both players, and may the best man win. I think that's going to be a really fun episode. I can't wait to have it out for you guys. Hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.